We've actually given over $500,000 since we started.
Wow.
Our main focus is to give back to the community and give back to educational programs throughout the community, and not just here, but all over West Tennessee.
Hey, this is Shay.
And this is Carrie,
Welcome to the Pocket Change Podcast.
where you'll learn better ways to spend, save, and invest and take control of your financial journey. Okay, so Shay, I have good news.
Yes,
Have you heard who's coming to Jackson this August?
I have heard, but tell our listeners because
Okay.
they're going to be excited.
So Dr. John Delony is
all right.
coming, and I personally am a fan. Have you ever listened to his
Yeah, I've heard some of
podcast or
his
anything?
podcasts and
Yeah.
episodes. He's great.
He is great. So we're excited to talk about why he's coming to Jackson and how others can come and see him.
Yeah, so they can come and hear him speak as a keynote speaker of an inaugural event that's going to be honoring educators in our community. So
Yep, that's right. Let's get into it. We're excited to welcome our guest, Leigh Anne Bentley, president of the Leaders Education Foundation. Welcome to Pocket Change.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
We are too. So to kick things off, we hear there's a big event coming to Jackson soon. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We're very excited about having our inaugural fundraiser for the foundation. It's called EmpowerEd, an evening with Dr. John Delony, presented by West Tennessee Healthcare. It's going to be on August 14th at the Carl Perkins Civic Center here in Jackson, Tennessee. Empowered kind of standing for empowering education. So if you kind of see it spelled funky, that's kind of the reasoning behind it. But we're very excited about having it coming to Jackson, and it's our very first fundraising event that we're having for the foundation.
yeah, so the inaugural event, that's very exciting to kick that off. Empowered, like ED for Ed, right? Like you said. And before we dive more into the event, tell us more about Leaders Education Foundation and its mission.
We have three primary impact areas we focus on when giving back to the community. Scholarships for students, teacher grants or educator grants, and then program support. We were very excited about the foundation, and we actually started in 2019. And so we kind of, great time to start going into
Right before a
2020.
pandemic.
Right
Yeah.
before 2020, but we have not let that slow us down. We've actually given over $500,000 since we started.
Wow.
Wow.
And so, but we do that in kind of three ways. Our main focus is to give back to the community and give back to educational programs throughout the community, and not just here, but all over West Tennessee. So
It
Memphis,
is education focused.
education
Students,
focus,
teachers, yeah.
river, border to border.
Yeah.
So we're very proud to be able to do that all throughout West Tennessee. But we do that three different ways. So kind of our first way we try to give back is through scholarships. So we have collegiate scholarships that we give away every spring. And so it's very exciting to go into four-year universities, people who are graduating seniors. Then we've actually broken down and have workforce readiness scholarships.
Okay.
That's actually brought to us by Dixie, one of our partners.
Yeah.
So they've been a great partner with us, allowing us to double the number of workforce scholarships we can give annually. So 3 times a year, we give out workforce scholarships, and those are for people to attend community colleges, TCATs, technical schools throughout West Tennessee. So that's very exciting. We give over $30,000 a year with that. And so the second venture we kind of go into are LEADS grants, or our educator grants, as we kind of call them. So with that, we do that every fall. There are kind of 3 categories of those.
It's like a trend here.
I know.
All these categories for everything.
There are 3 areas. There are different categories. So we do classroom grants. So classroom grants, teachers can submit and give how they would spend $1,000 in their classroom.
Yeah.
We do professional development for teachers who want to apply for ways to continue to grow their education themselves. And then we also do teacher appreciation, because isn't that what we really hear about? We want to thank the ones that are here.
Right.
So those are
More
the-
than just one time a year.
More than just
Yeah.
one time a year, not just Teacher Appreciation Week,
Right.
but let them kind of find other ways to say thank you. We want to give back to them. So those are the 2 areas that we handle in-house. And so then there are already so many organizations throughout West Tennessee that do great work. I mean, so what can we do to further enhance education without us doing everything ourselves? Why not partner with other organizations and let's support them and let them do bigger and better things, support them financially, and then through volunteerism when possible. So we do that through program support.
Right.
Just some of the programs we support locally throughout West Tennessee, like the READ Team or the WOW Wagon. We support West Teach, the UT Martin. We support educational programs through chambers, at the Jackson Chamber here. And so Madison Library is a big one.
Right.
And so there's quite a few that are already doing great things. And if we can help them further enhance their mission and their goals, we're glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of these groups that the foundation supports are already serving multiple counties. Like the Imagination Library, that's in every county. United Way is serving, several counties with the Wow Wagon, bringing books to children. So ways that the foundation spreads that to all these different areas is really, really great. And so we talked a little bit about the foundation, but what can people expect from the Empowered event in August?
Well, it's going to be a great evening, and I really encourage people to join us that evening. But our keynote speaker, as I mentioned earlier, is John Delony. So he's going to be a keynote speaker, even do questions and answers at the end. So I think that'll be interesting to kind of have kind of a live podcast.
Yeah.
People can ask him questions. We're also going to have some little surprises throughout the evening, little entertainment things. But what we're most excited about is giving awards back to and honoring 5 educators throughout West Tennessee. And so we'll be doing those in different areas, different kind of 3 different buckets.
Yeah,
Basically.
another 3 categories. That's right.
Keep it simple.
And so one being administrative, we're looking at people who are in leadership roles, type of that with their school system. It could be a school board member. It could be someone else like that. Principal.
Vice principals.
And then we have volunteer. Obviously, there are a lot of organizations that support education, either within the schools or externally. And then also the 3 tiers of educators themselves. And so if they're in the school, maybe K through 12, either collegiate scholarship or collegiate aspect, or someone who is working within the school system in another capacity.
Yeah, that's great. So, I love how it's honoring all the different areas within the school system, K-12 and collegiate and workforce level, but also support individuals like, guidance counselor or a librarian or someone, and also, non-paid volunteers. Because there's a lot of that within the school system that people are tutoring and supporting education. So I'm glad to see that it's all-encompassing like that.
Absolutely. We actually had a whole committee who kind of put together, because since this is our first year, what criteria and curriculum and different things to look for. And then over for about a month and a half, went out and tried to find these people, looked at applications, requested people to submit. So I think we had over 50-something applications come in, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you how much support is given to educators in our area. And they had the hard job of selecting it. So we're excited that we have our selection. We're going to be honoring them. And so you can follow us on our socials or our website to kind of follow them and see all of the different ones we'll be honoring. And that can be found at leadersgives.org.
Yes, thank you.
Well, that's all very exciting. But let's talk about this guest. That is a very special guest that we're having to, headline the event. So what made John Delony the right person for the job?
Well, first of all, I've been a fan for a long time, but it wasn't just me. We had our board discussed it, different volunteers. We had just conversations. But he seemed to be a natural fit. And so a natural fit because he's been in education. He worked at colleges. He's in counseling, handling that. He actually is also tied with financials. And so, and we're actually our founding sponsor, Leaders Credit Union, is obviously a financial institution. So pulling all of those together, we thought, what a better person than bringing somebody here who has that eclectic mix of people. For people who may not know as much about him, he's a Dave Ramsey personality. And so he's on his show. He has his own radio show called The John Delony Show. He has his own podcast. He's a best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author, written several books.
Yeah.
And so he's just a, very interesting, very unique. I've listened to him for years. We've had great feedback when we were talking to the community about bringing him here. So if you haven't been listening to him, I encourage you, go find him on YouTube, go find him, on socials and start following him because he's fascinating.
Yes, I agree. I follow him and I love his reels and his posts, and I'm excited. I'm a fan myself, so I'm excited to hear him speak.
Well, we look forward to meeting him and hearing him live and letting him answer a couple questions for us.
Yeah. I think after you listen to this podcast, then you can listen to Dr. John Delony's podcast.
Of course.
But I know he focuses on
Priorities,
education.
right?
Exactly. I know he focuses on education and mental health, and that's, we want to be supportive of educators in our community. So I think, like you said, a great fit for the event, for him being our keynote speaker. So if someone wants to attend Empowered to support the foundation, how can they do that?
Well, we have sponsorships available, and we also have ticket sales for the balcony. But if you're interested in purchasing a table or even being a sponsor, and so you can go to leadersgives.org /events, or just go to our website and you can find the link to it there.
Yeah.
And so table sponsorships are still available. Balcony tickets are available, so you can actually buy at the balcony as well. And so we're just looking forward to bringing people here, bringing people together to hear a great speaker, to honor some great people, and to spread a great message about what we're doing in the West Tennessee community.
Yeah, that's great. So visit leadersgives.org /events, and you can find all the details, purchase tickets, look up sponsorships, all that.
Absolutely.
It's gonna
We'd
be
love
a
to have
great
them be
time.
a part of our evening.
Okay, so let's talk about impact. Where do the funds raised from this event go, and how has the foundation made a difference so far?
Great question. And so, I mentioned earlier kind of our 3 areas of focus, but it also takes more than just us. In addition to the fundraiser that we're having here, we've got great corporate sponsors. Like our Empowered event is actually sponsored by West Tennessee Healthcare as part of our presenting sponsor. Other sponsors are coming on board with us to be a sponsor on table levels, on different educational levels. And then we also have sponsors throughout our year. We have corporate sponsors that provide us funding. And then membership. We actually are a membership organization. I might not have mentioned that. And so the great thing about joining the foundation is a one-time $10 membership fee.
Okay.
You're never asked anything else after that. And so but with that membership fee, we give access to emailing you about information on when our grants are open, when our scholarships are open. If you want to, since we are a 501c3 charitable organization, everything is tax deductible that you give to us. Anything giving over $50 to us can be given in honor of or in memory of a loved one. And so the funds that we raise through membership fees, through donations, and then through sponsorships are given to the, like their teacher grants we talked about, are given to scholarships, through the collegiate side or workforce readiness. They're given to programs to help support West Tennessee. So United Way is a great partner of ours. The school system's a great partner of ours. And so everything that we kind of do is given back. We actually are all volunteer-based. None of our employees are paid. They're all volunteers. Our board of directors are volunteers. And so I think our policy currently states that about 95% of what comes in is supposed to be spent back to the community. And so we have 5% reserved for, websites or whatever we have to do to kind of maintain the organization. But all the funds and all the money raised goes to program support and goes back to the community. It does not go towards salary. It does not go towards anything but supporting our educational endeavors throughout the community.
People can feel good about that. 95 cents their dollar goes back to supporting educational initiatives in the community. And, a lot of that's unique. And I think that's really exciting that people can support something so fully.
We're proud of that. And so, because that's our whole mission is to give back. We say, give forward. And so if the people who are giving to us, we're passing along to other people. And the money that we raise through our efforts goes back to the community, just what we said.
You say, how much has the foundation given out since its inception, or roughly?
We've given out over $500,000 since we started, and every year it increases. I think last year was closer to about 150. So our first year was less, obviously less than 100, and we're kind of working our way to give more and more year after year.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
We're excited about the Empowered event coming up August 14th at the Carl Perkins Civic Center in Jackson, Tennessee. Visit leadersgives.org/events. So we want to get that out there, make sure people know. But since this is a financial related podcast, Leigh Anne, what is some of the best financial advice you've ever been given?
Well, ironically, I was sent to the Dave Ramsey program back when I was in college. So my parents have always been very adamant about, taking care of finances, being financially sound, being financially savvy. And so they always just kind of instilled in me to, when you're planning for something, and you want something, plan for it. Sometimes it's great to wait, to order to save up. And so really, I guess my biggest advice is, know what you want. It's okay to buy, sporadically in some cases, but the best case scenario is know what you want, so you're not just throwing money away that's not necessary, and you have a plan for your money and can plan moving forward.
Yeah,
That's
I think
great
even
advice.
Dave Ramsey has a suggestion about, the 24-hour rule, or waiting a certain amount of hours before you buy something big. See if you really want it. So that's good advice to think about
Yes.
that.
Okay, so I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Since this is the Pocket Change podcast, if you were to find some extra change in your pocket, what would you spend it on?
I think I've been asked this before, and I have a terrible sweet tooth, and I do love ice cream. So my guilty pleasure is probably a little ice cream, a little Blizzard, little
Okay.
Dairy, any kind of ice cream concoction is great
Dump
with
it
me.
upside down and it won't fall out, right?
That works for
Blizzards.
me. That works for me. It's one
right.
of my favorites.
Sounds good. Well, thanks so much, Leigh Anne, for joining us today and sharing a little bit about the Empowered event coming up.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in to the Pocket Change podcast.
Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe, and check out our full episodes on YouTube. And check out the Empowered event August 14th. You can visit leadersgives.org/events and check out our guest speaker, Dr. John Delony. We've got some of his books here with us. You can check him out and come hear him on August 14th.
The Pocket Change podcast was brought to you by Leaders Credit Union.
Where we power your passion and make lives better.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
My favorite, you know the little chocolate shavings? Whatever that has is my favorite.
I like the Oreo.
Oh,
And I
really?
get extra Oreos.
Oreo's okay.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a blizzard. Rate, review, subscribe, and look at these books. Yeah, something like that.
Look at these books.
Look at these books. Leaders is federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Learn more at leaderscu.com.